So you're struggling with retroactive jealousy. You're struggling with unwanted, intrusive thoughts about your partner's past that don't seem to go away. So you start digging. You go on Google, you go on YouTube, you maybe go on Amazon, you start Googling retroactive jealousy, girlfriend's past, wife's past, all that stuff, husband's past. And eventually you come upon, let's say, for example, my work, or maybe someone else's work. You start getting some answers. Eventually you start building some momentum. Maybe you invest in a product that really helps you overcome retroactive jealousy for good. Or maybe you just overcome it through constant Googling and YouTubing and what have you. What comes after overcoming retroactive jealousy? What's next? Is this the end stage of this whole journey? Is this the end stage of your journey? In today's video, I'm going to share a little bit about what I think comes after retroactive jealousy for most of us who actually work our ways through it. And I think this video might surprise you. And I think it's a very important message, frankly, for a lot of retroactive jealousy sufferers to hear. My name is Zachary Stockill, and since 2013, I've been helping men and women from all over the world overcome retroactive jealousy, save their relationships, and enjoy happier, more peaceful lives. If you'd like more information about my work, you'd like to maybe check out my products and services, please check out my website at retroactivejealousy.com. So is overcoming retroactive jealousy the goal? And is that really the end stage of your personal development evolution, of your journey into personal development? I can tell you for a fact that overcoming retroactive jealousy in many ways is the first step on this personal development journey that so many of us are going on. And no, I don't mean that you're overcoming retroactive jealousy for 5, 10, 20 years. What I'm saying is retroactive jealousy, if you handle this correctly, can be your gateway drug, so to speak, into incredibly deep personal exploration, into spiritual evolution, into incredible personal growth, into an incredible deepening of intimacy in your relationship, into an incredible opening of your heart up even more than you thought was possible, loving your partner even more than you thought was possible, enjoying your relationship even more than you thought was possible. The reason I'm still doing this work after 8+ years, after hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of one-on-one clients, after thousands of email consultations and all the rest, you probably know my story if you're watching this video. The reason I'm still doing this work, really, is because of an email I received many years ago. I think this was back in 2014 or something. I'll never forget, the email writer's name was Mike, and he was a student in my online course, Get Over Your Partner's Past Fast. And Mike told me, he gave me one of the best compliments I've ever received, which is basically, your course, your work, was like a gateway drug into personal development. And some people cringe when they hear this term personal development, and frankly, I don't blame them. Because there are a lot of charlatans out there. There are a lot of people promoting personal development as the cure-all to all of your ills, and you just need to work harder on yourself and blah, 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 blah. There's a lot of people out there selling themselves as coaches when they really have zero experience, zero testimonials. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. There's a lot of serious flakes just trying to make a quick buck under the label of personal development. So if you cringe when you hear the word personal development, I don't blame you. I get it. But for me, personal development just really means, well, everything I just talked about, basically. Deeper personal exploration. Who are you deeply as a man, as a woman, as a human being? Who are you really? Beyond your ego, beyond all the petty nonsense that you carry around, beyond the crazy stories you're telling yourself, beyond your obsessive thoughts about your partner's past, beyond the mundane day-to-day existence that you might be currently living. Who are you really? Who are you at a deep, deep level? And you can take this question and go very, very deep. There are monks not far from me, as I speak to you today in Indonesia, who spend their entire lives investigating this question. Who am I? Beyond the ego, beyond the physical, at the metaphysical level, really. Who am I as an individual? Who am I as a human being? Where am I going in life? All these big philosophical questions that you can literally spend a lifetime wrestling with, and that the point really of wrestling with them is constantly asking the question rather than arriving at specific answers. For me and for many other people, retroactive jealousy is a gateway drug into personal development, into a deeper exploration of self, who you are, what you really want, beyond what you think you want, which is often not the same thing. And what do you want your life to look like beyond retroactive jealousy, well beyond retroactive jealousy? What kind of a career do you want to have? What do you want to spend most of your time doing? What kind of friends do you want to bring into your life? What kind of people do you want to keep out of your life? What kind of a relationship do you want to have? And I mean very specifically and practically. What do you want your relationship to look, sound, and feel like? How do you want to show up in your partner's life? How can you give them even more love than you thought was possible? How can you be open to receiving all of the incredible love that is all around you at all times that maybe you're not always entirely receptive to? These are big questions. These are deep questions. And again, some of you are probably cringing, but that's okay. Because my experience working on this little narrow niche issue of retroactive jealousy over many years has shown me again and again and again how overcoming retroactive jealousy is really the first step in a very, very deep and profound personal evolution. And I feel very fortunate. I've kept in touch with many of my coaching clients over the years. And sometimes I'll get messages from them a year or two apart, just kind of checking in and catching up. And I'll get pictures of their families and wedding invitations and things like that. But the consistent theme among retroactive jealousy survivors, frankly, like myself and like many others, some of whom you've met on my channel, the consistent theme is retroactive jealousy was the first step towards a deeper exploration of self, toward a deeper cultivation of meaning in one's life, to a deeper stage of committed intimacy in their relationship. And this is why I'm still working on this narrow little niche issue of retroactive jealousy after all of these years. I have other friends who are coaches, and not like coaches, I mean good coaches, serious coaches, people who I learn from every day, people who have taught me an enormous amount about facilitating personal change in human beings. And one of them in particular, asks me sometimes like, Zach, why are you still working on jealousy? It's this tiny little issue. And through our conversations, he's understood more and more that we think we're dealing with retroactive jealousy, right? When we're in the thick of it, we think we're dealing with, just help me stop thinking about my partner's past. Just give me the answer to stop these intrusive thoughts. And that's a huge component in recovery, obviously, eliminating the symptoms. But once you start really going deeper into the source, that's where the real magic happens. That's where the transformation happens. That's where I get these emails where people say they don't recognize who they were a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years ago, because they've grown so much. Because retroactive jealousy was the first step in an ongoing journey of personal change, personal evolution. So all of this is to say, if you take away nothing else from this video and you're currently struggling with retroactive jealousy, this fight is worth it, my friend. This journey is so much more than worth it. And speaking personally, I look at the man I was 10 years ago, and I barely recognize him. I have got all kinds of challenges still to come. I am imperfect in myriad and fascinating ways. I'm by no means arrived anywhere, but I am over retroactive jealousy. And my life, frankly, has never been better. And the deeper into this work I go, and the deeper into my own journey I go, I realize that retroactive jealousy was the first step. And in general, I'm so grateful I went through that experience. And that might sound absolutely insane to someone watching this who's struggling with retroactive jealousy right now, and I completely understand that. But if you handle this challenge correctly, it really can change your life in ways that you can't even imagine right now. And this is not a sales pitch, this is fact. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening, thanks for following me today, I appreciate it. And if you got anything out of this video, please let me know by clicking the like button below, making sure you subscribe to my channel. And if you have a comment for me, if you think that I'm completely stoned and completely out of my mind, and you don't agree with what I'm saying, or you do agree, either way, I would like to hear from you. Please leave a comment beneath this video telling me what you think. Thanks again for watching, and I'll talk to you again very soon.